Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out the headlines. We got Twitter and crypto, FTX and Cardano, XLS20 EVM sidechains. We're going to hear from David Schwartz. Rostin Benham suggests Gensler may think Ethereum is a security. We're going to get into it. Franklin Templeton in the news. ISO20022 in the United Nations. We need to talk about it. Lloyd Bank of London and XDC. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook for exclusive content. Right now, sitting pretty flat in the market at $971 billion market cap for crypto. Good morning, everybody. Bitcoin, 19,300 plus. Ethereum, 1,300 plus. We see XRP at 44 cents at a dismal 44 cents this morning at the number 6 spot here. Let me go ahead and take a look at this very quickly. This is the great John Deaton update video with link to on the timeline for settlement or summary judgment. And I remind you all right now, the link underneath this video will take you to this website where you can, in fact, get Ripple SPVs and other great products that are on here. So make sure you check it out. You must be accredited, but listen to where things are according to John Deaton and his legal analysis. Take a listen.
And I am currently working on XRP holders amicus brief that'll be filed within a week. All the papers will be done and in front of the judge by, I think it's November 15th. And so at that moment, all papers are in. There's always a chance that some other amicus shows up. I don't know, but usually not. And we're just then in standstill of one of two things to happen. Either a settlement or the judge comes down with a ruling. Now, unfortunately, as you can imagine, 2 years of litigation, each brief is like 80 pages. And so there's like 5 of them. There's thousands and thousands of exhibits and deposition testimony and expert reports, all that stuff. No judge is going to be able to turn that around in a matter of a couple months. It's just not going to happen. And so the earliest, in my opinion, the very earliest is the end of March. I think it's much more likely that we see a result ruling from her in late April or May, unless there is a settlement. And a settlement could happen anytime. And
keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. A settlement can happen at any time, but that's the latest from John Deaton, and we're so grateful for him and all that he's doing here. I want to play this now. Kathy Wood revealed from ARK Investment in an interview that she invested $100,000 in Bitcoin at $250 a Bitcoin and has kept it until now. The investment is worth today $7.9 million. Go, Kathy. I'm not going to play the clip here, but that's what it says, and you get it. Look, I've been impressed with what Kathy's doing over there, regardless of her, how she feels about Bitcoin. She's a hell of an investor, I'll tell you that. And I'm excited about what they're doing. This right here, at the risk of disappointing crypto Twitter's thirst for drama, John Deaton says, I too respect Haley, which is Haley Lennon, Bitcoin Maxi for sure, in her opinion. The fact that we may disagree about an issue, imagine that two lawyers disagreeing on something is okay. We need much more respectful disagreement in today's world. That is true. And I say agreed. And in spirit of this, I'd like to say Charles Hoskinson, we agree on 99.9% of everything crypto. No need for blocking me. I have and always will be civil and professional in our agreements and disagreements. Olive Branch, come on back in. Yeah, don't be scared of me. There's nothing to be scared of me about. Crypto Law lays this out. They said, we're just going to leave this right here, and there's no need to say more. Whoever puts aside ad hominem attacks and actually can refute what people themselves said on video, audio, in print here, many out here are ready to respectfully listen. I am one of them. 100% this. You ever notice that none of those who dare call us conspiracy theorists will actually sit down with us civilly to discuss the evidence in the Crypto Law US library. Name the time and place. I'm sure John Deaton will be happy to sit down with you the same way he did with Patrick Bet-David. You know, this the other comment I must say. We'll finish this and we'll move on. We got great things to talk about, but this really I feel needs to be addressed. The fact that Charles had called out and made some really disparaging remarks towards David Schwartz, I felt were highly inappropriate. And I'm not going to match that energy because I don't see the need in it. It wasn't right what Charles said and how he came at David Schwartz personally or John Deaton or XRP holders in general. Charles himself expressed leaving Ethereum and was only there for a 6-month period of time. And if my memory serves me right, he said that he even gave either a portion or all of his holdings of ETH to some woman that worked for him because he was uncomfortable with the situation at hand. It gets really tough from that understanding of why Charles only stayed there 6 months and left and gave what was allotted to him to someone else because he wasn't happy with the way it was being done. You know, it's hard to see how he makes the leap of conspiracy when, in fact, he was very uncomfortable there. It's just very tough to understand, Charles, and I wish you would come back and clear that up. Ripple, in fact, are carrying it all on their backs for the entire crypto space, whether people realize it or not. It takes a village, and I appreciate each one of them. Sam Bankman-Fried, however, hints that Cardano may be the next listing on FTX. I'm not going to get into all of it, but he does say here, after being questioned about it, he says basically here, he says adding spot ADA is 2 on our roadmap. And then goes on further here to say to someone else, if you think I'm lying, would you take a 1-to-1 bet on whether FTX lists ADA spot within the next 3 months? We'll keep an eye out on that. And while that's going on, Twitter working on its own crypto wallet prototype. Come on in. Yeah. If you're ever wondering if this crypto thing's going away, I think you got your answer. David Schwartz says here, it's been some time coming, but we can't wait to see what dApps you build with the EVM sidechain on the XRP Ledger. Testing is now live on DevNet. Send us your feedback so we can keep iterating. Damn right. And I think this is what it looks like once developers figure out the XRP Ledger is available to launch NFTs. What do you think is going to happen? There's my guess. More trouble in the regulatory agencies about how to handle crypto. It's pretty cynical view to suggest 2 agencies can't figure it out and work together, he said to an audience of lawyers and industry leaders, the $1 million question CFTC chair on regulating crypto alongside the SEC. Here's another article here. He says, I've suggested that Ether is a commodity. And it goes on in this article as it did the other one, but I just chose this one. He says here, this September, however, Gensler appeared to take a step back, suggesting the fixed income-like returns of staking Ether is consistent with the securities classification. Ether dipped 11% following Gensler's remarks. The SEC has been known to target tokens for unregistered security offers through enforcement actions. In June, the agency alleged 9 crypto assets were securities in charges against former Coinbase employees accused of insider trading. Benham said, Ether, I've suggested that it's a commodity. Chairman Gensler thinks otherwise, or at least hasn't certainly declared one or the other. Will he be forced to come back and deal with Ethereum because of ETHgate and all the evidence that has been found that other people want to try and deny or cancel the relevance of? It's as Crypto Law US said. It is video, audio, print. It is their words. It's no one else's words. and it's been captured. And that's why no one to date has anything other than name calling and cancel culture approach to try to deal with those facts. The fact that Bitcoin and Ethereum trade exactly together when they're two completely different strategies just shows you the lack of understanding in the market. This is the CEO, Jenny Johnson, at Franklin Templeton, baby. Take a listen to this clip. Franklin Templeton, I do know, is also building on the Stellar network. I read that a few years ago.
The fact that Bitcoin and Ethereum trade exactly together when they're two completely different strategies just shows you the lack of understanding in the market in this space. And so, you know, for me, I'm third generation at Franklin Templeton. My job is to ensure that the fourth generation and the fifth generation, that we've survived 75 years because we know how to adopt our business to new technologies. I look at this and it's just a massive disruptor to financial services, and so we have to be in this space, and it's a great opportunity to be in this space. It's a complicated space, and we probably won't see the payouts in this space for 5+ years, but you have to really understand it to ensure that you're developing products that make sense.
I totally get it, and that makes sense to me. And you know what? As disparaging as it may sound, if I have to wait another 4 or 5 years to experience profits in my portfolio, if that's what I got to do, that's what I got to do. I can't make the market move any faster than it is. You know, I don't know when things are. I've never tried to pretend to know when things are going to actually take off. I just know what the ultimate full-scale intended use of things that I invest in are. And I'm here to see that through. It is hero or zero. That's where I'm in this game. And right here is an excellent article by Headline Hunter here, revealed how the United Nations secretly built the foundation for a new global financial system. Now, I'm not going to read the whole article, but you should, and it's on my Twitter. But I will tell you right now that basically it talks about ISO20022. And about how that was really created by two different agencies, one of which is really tied to the United Nations here. And it talks about the understanding that it is a universal standard messaging payment language that is being adopted. He goes on to remark about in the article about how starting in November, the way SWIFT community exchanges payments messages will be transformed with ISO 20022. One way to interpret the ISO 20022 introduced in 2004 is a framework that nations and financial institutions could reference when building their own financial technology. What many people are unaware of is that the ISO part of 2022 represents the organization behind the standard itself. And remember, Stellar and Ripple are on that standard body's committee as the only two distributed ledger technology members. The organization is actually an NGO that was created in London, England. ISO stands for International Organization of Standardization. Non-Government Association is the NGO composed of 167 nations, national standards and bodies. In other words, it's a global network of organizations to collaborate to establish standards and important items in society in hopes that countries and organizations will adopt and adhere to them. This is a fantastic article, and I wish we had time to read the entire thing to you, but I don't, and I want to tell you, you should do it. But I want to go on and show you in here, there's one section I do want to show you here, if I could just find it very quickly to bring this up, if I could find it. Let's see here. It talks about the sustainable goals right here. So when thoroughly exploring ISO's primary website, it becomes abundantly clear that they literally have the same goals as the United Nations. Have you ever heard the United Nations Agenda 2030 for Sustainable Development, SDGs? Well, guess who helped create that? It's ISO, right? So they're all working in a very coordinated fashion. ISO, in effect, the United Nations Article, United Nations Charter, lists the 4 purposes of the UN, the 4th being to be a center for harmonizing the actions of nations in the attainment of these common ends. You know, all of this is going to a place where we will see a new financial system in a new world. And here is a flash in the pan. Well, not a flash in the pan, but a glimpse of what that is going to look like. And it is very, very interesting. Congratulations to XDC. Lloyds Bank of London has completed the UK's first transaction utilizing a digital promissory note purchase. How about that? And isn't it funny? They use digital promissory note when something is a note. XDC has been used for this, and Lloyds Bank of London has completed UK's first transaction utilizing digital promissory note purchase. This landmark transaction dramatically increased speed of payments and paves the way for significant increase in the use of promissory notes for a broad range of transactions. It says 4,000 years they've had promissory notes, the innovation and everything that comes with it. If I could just bring you to this, they talk about the note was issued using NGO's solution. What's interesting about this is when you get into this information, Andre Casterman, Managing Director of Casterman Advisory, is also an advisor to XDC, by the way, which I will show you very quickly right here. Andre Casterman Advisory at Zinfin XDC. And he's very quickly going to show you the link here.
Now into existing processes, and I think that's where the value of those highly specialized fintechs is demonstrated. Here you see on this slide the various technologies that can be integrated. We are focused today on Joel's work at China Systems to integrate the Enigio's original document technology, but the same can be applied with other front-to-back core trade finance technologies. Finastra is also an ITFA member. The same can be applied with other fintechs that are highly specialized, like StraightStream for processing the documents internally and checking the document according to the ICC rules.
And it appears that that's exactly what they've accomplished here with the Lloyds Bank of London and the first digital promissory note. This, to me, is very, very exciting, whether it's XDC or XRP or XLM, real use case inside the real financial system with a legacy firm. This is exactly what I want to see. Now take a look at this, because Ed Greg Crypto doesn't mean to put ice water in your veins, I'm sure of that. But he says, can you still handle 427 days of ranging? Take a look at this chart. Oh, boy, I tell you, that looks like another 427 days. If we don't see any kind of fundamental news that opens the door, we could be looking at that December 23 moon phase, he says. Think of that for a moment. If we've got that phase 1 here and then the phase 2 here, if history repeats, obviously, we could be staring down the barrel of more sideways movement for the next year plus. How about that? You know, not financial advice from him, me, or anyone else, but that's where we are on this day. I'll take the fundamental news. Lloyds Bank of London and promissory notes with Enigio and XDC, baby. That's progress. I'll catch all of you on the next one.